The 2010s were definitely not the best decade for Rangers. There was many ups and downs. It was probably one of the most craziest decades for a football club that you could probably imagine, from the ultimate highs of winning league titles to the ultimate lows. But this is the 10 best matches, and it's not necessarily, how many goals did we win by? It's the most important ones and memorable and all that good stuff. But let's go in to number 10 on this list.
They managed to put it off today. They managed to win this.
Which, of course, is the League Cup final in 2010, the 21st of March of that year. And I actually believe this is the earliest match on this list. Obviously, if you can do simple mathematics, 2010 start, January 1st, 2010, the end, December 31st, 2019. That is your 2010s decade. So yeah, great wee victory against St Mirren. I'll put it in 10th. There is some games where we didn't win a trophy on this list, but including the next one. And it is a 3-1 victory at Parkhead against Celtic on the 24th of October 2010. And, this was one of the last victories against Celtic, especially at Parkhead, before a certain 2-1 victory a few years later. And Cal Lafferty, doing this list, right, and actually looking at it, see Cal Lafferty in the early 2010s looking back, the guy was a fucking goal machine. Seriously underrated. I mean, literally every game for this era that is early 2010s, because there is a few later ones, big Cal Lafferty has got his own wee stamp on it, and a 3-1 victory here against Celtic set us well on our way here for the title of 54. But we move out of the early 2010s and more into the middle. It's probably one of the only ones that's in the middle of the 2010s. And it is in 2016, 17th of April 2016 to be exact. Semi-final against Celtic. It was 2 each, 5-4 on penalties to Rangers. We did knock them out. And of course, after going down to the lower leagues and clawing our way back up, it was the first time we took on Celtic in absolute donkeys, and it was the first time we'd beat them in absolute donkeys as well. And you always remember that Barry Mackay goal. Now, of course, it's not like that won us the game. It was still an absolutely insane goal and great moment, but we won on penalties, and for me, it rightfully deserves a spot on this list, because I think a lot of the moments that take place, like this one, for example, in the later years, a lot of it is down to the rebuild, what it took to get back to the top. And that's why it's included on this list. But we're going to move into 7th place. We've got UFA 1, Rangers 1, 30th of August 2018, Europa League playoff round qualifying match. Down to 9 men. I remember this game very vividly. What a goal it was into the back of the net. The two Reds, it was around the time everyone was getting red carded. Morelos, remember the squad here. You could Daniel Candesa in your picture, you got John Flanagan, I remember Katic, Tavernier with a bit longer hair. Crazy times. And after the absolute embarrassment that was the year before and getting knocked out by Progress, Steven Gerrard had come in and got us into European group stages at the first time of asking. And of course, back here, there was no Conference League. It was Champions League, Europa League or bust. And I remember, it just felt like a massive moment on the rebuild, and that's why I've included it on this list. Sticking with another result in Europe, it was the 3-1 victory against Rapid Vienna on the 4th of October 2018 in the Europa League group stages. And this one always sticks out because this was I believe it was our only victory in the group stage that season. But it wasn't to say it was a bad group stage. Of course it wasn't, because we had the likes of Villarreal in there. We drew twice with Villarreal, and I was honestly tempted to put the 2 each draw against Villarreal on this list instead of this match, but I thought I'd put the victory because, European group stages, it was the start of this, recent era, I guess you could say, of us doing really well in Europe, more in particular the Europa League, but you always remember that back heel for Candes and then the goal at the end. Phenomenal stuff. Stevie G had us back. And of course, up in 5th place, we've got the 2-1 victory at Parkhead on the 29th of December 2019. This is the latest game on this list. And it was a pretty iconic moment at the time, Gerrard grabbing the camera and celebrating. Everyone's like, well, we never did that for Liverpool. Things must be serious up in Glasgow, big man. And they were, because it was our first victory over Celtic at Parkhead in donkeys. Of course, you know, the years after, we did quite well at Parkhead in the 55 season. After that, kind of went down the shitter, didn't it? But nonetheless, another great result against Celtic. But that brings us to the next one, which of course was also under Steven Gerrard, and this was a 1-0 victory. Ryan Jack right through the legs, flicking past into the Celtic net at Ibrox. A 1-0 victory, 29th of December 2018. What a game, what a result. First time we'd beat them in the league in absolute donkeys. It really felt like, I mean, I think this list just goes to prove how underrated Gerrard was. I mean, those results in Europe, these sort of results here, he'd got us back compared to what the previous errors and managers had been doing, which was kind of twiddling their thumbs, if we're being brutally honest about it. But we go in to second place, and it's a 1-0 victory. I mean, no, it's a 1-0 victory. All that matters is a victory, right? It's a League Cup final victory against Celtic, 20th of March 2011. And of course, we're going to return to the early 2010s for the podium spots, because the reality is, we didn't win any games in the trophy, in the late 2010s. It was all more about a rebuild, but I thought they were still important games, so that's why they're on this list. But if people have a problem with them on this list, I can kind of understand that. But of course, we defeated them 20th of March 2011 in this League Cup final. Phenomenal stuff, Big Davy Weir. Then 1-0 victory against Hibs. It cemented title 53. That beautiful man, Cal Lafferty, on the 25th of April 2010. What a man. What a beautiful man. He is a man called Cali. He is. But like I said, Cal Lafferty is the absolute man. And he's been producing goals on this list, left, right and centre. But none more other than what's number one on here. And number one on the list is title 54, the 15th of May 2011, 5-1 victory over Kelly. Of course the legend is, come on! Cal Lafferty was on fire in this game. It was the last title, of course, for a while, and it had to be on this list.